Guys, welcome back to another one. We're going to be shooting some 16 gauge buckshot today, all conventionally loaded, meaning no shot cup. This is going to be ranging from 29 cal all the way up to 34 caliber double-aught plus, courtesy of Wade Rush. We're going to be using the Remington 1148 with the poly choke. And as always, we'll be firing these at our usual 42 yards, but if they don't, work out too well at 42, we'll scoot up a little bit and see how they work a little bit closer. But by all means, we hope they work great at 42 yards. Anyway, guys, let's get on to it. And we are at Josh's now. Got the 1148. The shells are right here. And we have Jaron with us today.
What's up? Alrighty, Wade, I hope this helps you a little bit. We're going to be playing around trying to figure out some of these 16 gauge buckshot loads using the 1148. This one here is 23 grains of long shot with a arbitrator 16 wad, a 1/4 inch of waxed hard card, a Mylar wrap, 10 pellets of double-aught buck, which is 33 cal if you're wondering, and ITX buffer, roll crimps with a bingo chip. We've got this poly choke here set on full for these, and a couple of the shells we'll be shooting later on in the video. We'll have to open it up to a mod choke, I believe. But I guess let's see what happens. We're at roughly 39, 40 yards, something like that. Where's this thing patterned? Alrighty. Gun's clear. Let's see what the hole looks like.
Where did it go?
Oh, right here. We know there's going to be some case head deformation from the gun, but
as we always say, the long recoil action guns, the barrel moves into the action, slams the back of the shell into the bolt face, causing it to be dished in, which can be fixed easy, but otherwise it looks good. Let's see how it patterned.
Well, back to the drawing board on this one, guys. Out of, it's supposed to be 10 pellets, wasn't it?
Yep.
Out of the 10, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm assuming 5, 6, 7, and I don't know exactly where the other ones went. Could be over here, over there somewhere, but all in all, I think that one needs a little more work.
Yep, the ones that are right here are in a pretty good group, though. I'd say the rest of them went off high up here.
Probably.
All right, guys, I'm up now, and we have a brand new prime Shadot hole, 28 grains of blue dot, the obturator 16, 1/4 inch of waxed hard card, 15 pellets of 29 cal, and Mylar wrap ITX buffer, roll crimp. I'm actually going to turn the poly choke a little bit tighter, so it should now be extra full. We moved up a little bit because, well, if you look back here, it's completely dark, so we need a little bit more light. Well, let's see how this does. We're at probably 40 yards now. All right. That primer's still round. Like very round. Looks great to me. Well, guys, this one didn't fare too well either, just being honest. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 to 15, but it is spread out kind of wide. Let's try opening the choke up a little bit and see what that does, because turning it tighter did not work. So this next one is 24 grains of HS6, the obturator 16 gas seal, 1/4 inch of waxed hard card, a Mylar wrap, 10 pellets of double-aught buck, and ITX buffer, roll crimp with the bingo chip. Jaron's shooting this one. Just remember to aim low and left of point of aim. Those hit right around point of aim. Hold. Looks good, other than being dished in. From back there, it looked like all of these hit around point of aim, but it didn't. It was just the paper moving, but, that's not too bad. We got 7 of the 10. I think the other 3 went high, but that's pretty good.
All right, guys, I was aiming right about here, somewhere right about here, and it hit up there. So, hit a little high.
Yep. I put the point of aim right here, thinking that we had enough, leeway up here for it not to go high. But no, I should have put the point of aim like here and we would have hit center.
Yeah.
Alrighty guys, this one here is 19 grains of green dot with the OB16 gas seal, a 1/4 inch waxed hard card, 8 pellets of 34 cal double aught plus with ITX buffer, a roll crimp. Thank you, Mr. Wade Rush, for the pellets there. We're at 40 yards. I have opened the choke up to modified for these bigger pellets. So I guess let's see what happens and how it patterns.
Okay, that one looks like it has a pattern about this big.
Yeah.
And he hit center. It's right, but it's center. Hole looks great. Primer's still mostly round. Brass isn't bubbled out nowhere. Still dished in though. I want a TriStar so bad.
Well, alrighty guys, that one there, to me personally, is really impressive. We've got, out of the 8 pellets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can't be for sure, but maybe 7, 8. They look like they're the right size, but I don't know. All in all, I think that's a really good load.
It is. 8 pellets, 34 cal. That's a hammer.
Yeah.
There is no published load data for Winchester WSF for 16 gauge, but there is for 12 and 20. So logically 16 will work too. But anyway, brand new primed Shadot hull, 19 grains of WSF, 1 inch of waxed hard card, Mylar wrap, 12 pellets of 31 cal single aught buck, ITX buffer, and again, roll crimp. See how this one does. We are still on the mod choke setting. Seemed to pattern good with the 34 cal. Let's see what it does with 31. And I cannot see them from back here. Hole? There it is. Beautiful. This one didn't fare too well. We probably should have tightened the choke back up. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8, 9, 10, 11 up here, and 12 up here. Yeah, it didn't pattern too well, but we'll know next time. So this one is 35 grains of little gun, the arbitrator 16, 1/4 inch waxed hard card, Mylar wrap, 15 pellets of 30 cal number 1 buck. I don't know what that was. And ITX buffer.
My turn. That one was a little spicy.
Primer's still round. That was little gun, which generally yields pretty low pressure in the larger shells like this. 16, 12, 10, 20. Low pressure, big loads. So for that one, the poly choke was turned to its tightest setting, which measures 6'1". And I mean, well, it's not too bad of a pattern. It's still spread out. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You see the other 3, Jaron?
Huh?
You see the other 3?
Those 2 right there?
Nah, that's number 4 buck. Looks like we got 12 of 15. That one was already there too. So, not the greatest, not the worst.
I aimed right about here somewhere.
Yep. Guys, I really don't like that poly choke. We're having to aim down here.
Oh, and here's a 4th one.
Oh yeah, one skim the paper right there. So, 13 of 15. Again, not the worst, not the best. But, you know, that's how it goes.
Alrighty guys, this one here is 33 grains of little gun. I can't say that word, I ain't gonna lie. The OB16 gas seal with a 1/8 inch waxed hard card, a Mylar wrap. 12 pellets of double aught buck, which is 33 cal, and ITX buffer, roll crimp. We got this thing set on mod choke. We're at 39, 40 yards. Let's see how she fares. Alrighty.
How'd that feel? That was 1.5 ounce payload.
That wasn't bad at all.
Moving about 1200 FPS, but primer's still round. Not dished out too bad. Hull's a little bit melty, can't reload that one. Little gun burns hot, guys.
I think the 16 gauge likes double aught buck. And it definitely likes double aught buck being propelled by little gun. Out of the 12, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if I had to assume where the other 2 pellets of the 12 went, I'd say they followed this string right up and off the top somewhere in this general area. So
Could be.
it is what it is, I suppose, but I like that pattern.
I do too.
Oh no, pretty well.
It's not too tight, it's not too open. That's about perfect, I'd say. Here's the last 16 gauge shell. Then we have one 32 gauge shell with Buckshot. But this is in a brand new primed Rio. 25 grains of blue dot, the obturator 16, 3/8 inch of waxed hard card, Mylar wrap, and a whopping 20 pellets of 27 caliber number 2 buck ITX buffer. See what it does. I have the poly choke set to its extra full setting. Safety is now off. And it looks great, guys. Brass ain't bubbled out nowhere. Primer's still mostly round. And the crimp held up. Before we go look at that pattern, here is my Stevens single shot 32 gauge. We have a Shaddai brand new prime 32 gauge hull, 12 grains of long shot, the Winchester WAA 28 wad, 11/16 ounce of 7.5 shot with a roll crimp. I took a flat file and I filed the wad down just a little bit to fit inside this hull. I'll explain more in a minute. All looks beautiful. 11/16 ounce. All right, guys, so Jaren comes in a little bit closer. You can see this actually is a pretty good pattern. That was 7.5 shot at 20 yards roughly. But you can see the density is pretty good. That would totally knock a quail, dove, whatever else, small bird right out of the sky. I'd totally hunt with that. Use number 6 shot for rabbits. Now as for the Buckshot, I believe that was probably the worst pattern yet. We have one down here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only count 6 on paper. Oops, 7.
Couple on the cardboard.
Yep. 8, 9. Jaren just seen these 2. 10. Guys, that's all I see. 10 of the 20, and they're spread out pretty wide. Okay, so the 1148 actually works really well using a full-length steel shot wad like a BP 1680 or the CSD 16. That gun with those wads and Buckshot patterns like a basketball at 42 yards. Conventionally loaded, I'd rather just use, something else. They didn't pattern too well. Some of them actually did pattern pretty well though. But I think if I ever, use that gun to hunt with for Buckshot, I'm definitely going to use some steel shot wads. Hope you guys can see this, but very nice clean powder burn in that load with the 32. So more about that 28 gauge wad I put in the 32 gauge. The bottom of this wad, well, this one's meant for tapered hulls, measures 0.52. And 32 gauge bore diameter is 0.526. The inside of a 32 gauge hull measures, roughly 0.52. So the bottom of the wad fits like it's made for it. However, this part right here, the bottom of the shot cup, it's a little bigger. It measures right around 5.5. So what I did to get around that is this flat file right here. I just filed away a few thousandths right here, and after I did that, this fits the 32 gauge hulls like it's made for it. and it holds 11/16 ounce perfectly. Number 3 buck, which is 25 caliber. Anything below that, this wad will work. You can also put a round balls in it. 395 cal works good. All kinds of stuff like that. So this wad in 32 gauge is actually pretty good. It's a lot better than the only available 32 gauge wad on the market, which is the SG32 wad, the one on the right here. You can see that the shot cup in this thing is tiny. It only holds 3/8 ounce of lead. This one holds 11/16, which is quite a bit more. And, well, it's just a much better wad. And as you can see, both of the wads are about the same on the bottom. Roughly 5'2". Well guys, that poly choke just is not performing like we want it to. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the Buckshot loads that's using a full-length wad, steel shot wads, it performs well with those, like really well. But it still hits high and right, so it's just not good. There's no reason that these loads that we fired pattern that bad. Some of them were good, but yeah, there's really no reason for it other than the poly choke. That's the best I can figure. It's just not good for buckshot loaded conventional. We know it doesn't like TSS at all. The poly choke doesn't. We haven't tested it out too much with turkey loads yet. Maybe that's something we'll do in the future, but as of right now, I'm probably going to end up getting a TriStar Viper G2. That gun takes interchangeable chokes, and there's a few aftermarket chokes for 16 gauge that are actually really good. I'm just not a fan of that poly choke. I don't like the way it looks, and it's not doing what we want it to do on paper, for the most part. Again, it does like buckshot loaded with steel shot wads. That's about the only thing. But we're getting fed up with that hitting so far high and right thing. Just don't like that. And yeah, we know we can stick a rear sight on it and maybe a taller front sight. When I got the gun, it did have a front sight and a rear sight on it. Well, just a rear sight and mount. There was no... Well, there wasn't any sights in either mount, but... I've told you guys this before, but when I got to my mom's house to show Jaron the gun, he closed the bolt, and the rear sight mount fell off. Turns out it was just held on with super glue. The front sight was, it was glued on, not with super glue, but I just heated it up and it came right off. I don't know who put those on there, and probably someone who didn't really know what they were doing, but it does have a, it is drilled and tapped for a rear sight at least. So we can do stuff with it. I don't really want to put a red dot on that gun because it would just look weird, I think anyway. But I think we can do something with it and maybe hack off the poly choke and get it threaded. That's what I want to do, but that's kind of costly. Might as well just save up, a little bit more and get a TriStar, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, please like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and we will get back to you. If you want to, go check out our Patreon. It's as low as $1 a month, and every penny we get goes right back into the channel. You guys get early access to content. A link to that will be in the description below, along with a link to our Instagram and Rumble accounts. But other than that, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you in the next one.